The project Bothnia Green Energy will be presented right now by Sofia Törmä, project manager, and I will invite Sofia on the stage for a couple of minutes and some slides to tell us more about this particular example of Nordic cooperation. Thank you very much for being here. We are listening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sofia Törmä. I'm from Finland, and I'm here to talk about our EU-financed project, Bothnia Green Energy. See my slides? No? Yes. Before I, however, jump into our project, I will tell a short background about myself, and this is very embarrassing. Roughly 10 years ago, I was very bold and brave and young, and said to myself that I'm going to change the world through sustainable fuels. Around the same time, I had a job interview, and I told them this purpose of mine. And when the recruiter then asked me, how did I hear about the job, I said, my mom found it. Anyway, with this goal in mind, I've been working at the engine manufacturer Wärtsilä, car brand BMW, and most recently the Finnish oil company Neste. In April this year, I then decided to jump career tracks a bit and try life in an EU-financed project, the Bothnia Green Energy. And we are here in beautiful Bucharest today. I flew yesterday over from Finland, and the sea separating Finland and Sweden is called the Gulf of Bothnia. And the area where the countries almost touch is called the Kvarken region. In Finnish, Merenkurkku. But I will stick to the Swedish name today, it's way easier. On the smaller map you see the counties that are considered to consist of the Kvarken region, and my fellow project partners are from different cities in this region. We have Kokkola, Pietarsaari, Vaasa from the Finnish side, and then from the Swedish side we have Skellefteå, Örnsköldsvik, and Umeå. How does this magical place look like? Well, it's lots of forest and wilderness, but also lots of space and beautiful shorelines. On the Finnish side, it's rocky, shallow waters. On the Swedish side, deep, beautiful cliffs diving into the sea. We are roughly 1 million inhabitants in this region, and the largest city is on the Swedish side, Umeå, with 140,000 inhabitants, give or take. When I compared it to the inhabitants of Bucharest, I found the difference quite appalling, but of course it's unfair to compare a small regional city with the capital. Anyway, people in this region are described as quiet, modest, and calm. But what they say in words, they actually put into action. I will come to that shortly. It wasn't maybe obvious from the small map that I showed you, but there's space, there's lots of land, and therefore the population density is also quite low in these counties, varying between 5 to 24 inhabitants per square kilometer. I mentioned doers, and the people in this region really take action. There's plenty of industry. There's steel industry, there's mining, there's naturally forestry, but also inorganic chemical clusters, energy technology clusters, shared hydrogen pipeline is being planned around the coast or the bay, and also different PTX and e-fuel projects are being planned in this region. The region produces roughly 45 terawatt hours of electricity, and an astonishing 96% of this is produced renewably from hydro and wind power. I'm not from this region, so I don't have to be modest. I can be bold and say we are doing several things right in this region. However, there's still a tendency to mind your own business a bit, and that's why this project is needed. To bridge that, we created Bothnia Green Energy to create a project that makes regional cross-border collaboration possible in the energy sector by involving all parties of the society, the utility companies, small and medium-sized enterprises, municipalities, and even academia. We have a budget of roughly 2 million euros, of which 60% is covered by the EU Interreg Aurora program. The budget is covered for 3 years, and we started in 2023 and will end by the end of this year in 2025. Who are we then? We are 12 project managers in 6 cities and 2 countries. How do we make that work in the first place? We are lucky to have an actual project manager who coordinates tasks and acts as a main communication channel to our stakeholders, the utility companies. The rest of us, the other project managers, acts as local anchors to tie the project outcomes regionally to our cities. I'm not seen on this picture because it was taken before I started, just if you were looking for me there. Then, early on in this project, we sat down together with our project partners and stakeholders to figure out what are we actually going to do. And these pilots you see here are the outcome of that first brainstorming session. We have the pilot on excess heat, how to capture it and use it and find sustainable ways to use it again. Power to talent, how to attract skillful workers to our region. DC networks or direct current networks is an idea that what if there would be a network working only on DC current, so without converting electricity to alternating current in between, essentially meaning that you would have solar panels on your roof and with DC current directly charge your electric vehicle, so you wouldn't convert to alternating current in between. And finally, the construction and real estate sector pilot, where we look into innovative energy solutions in this space. I don't have time to go through all of these right now, but if you are interested, there's the QR code to our project homepage. You can follow and read more about our project there. To give some more meat on the bone, I have an example of our excess heat pilot. Excess heat is an underutilized resource or waste. It's not always even seen as a waste stream because you can just release it somewhere. In Finland and Sweden, we are lucky to have a district heating network, so we can put some of the heat into that, but not all heat is suitable for that. They prefer high temperature heat, but what about low and medium temperature heat sources? They are more difficult to put into that. And also, in summer, you don't need heating as much as in winter. Anyway, we tackled this by setting up a webinar series, looking at excess heat from different angles. We have looked at excess heat from hydrogen production, from data centers, how to store heat, how to produce electricity from it, and how to use it, for instance, for food production. We've had roughly 200 participants in our webinars so far, and 26 companies have presented their technologies or their example cases. And we've been trying to focus on local companies that are present in our region or small and medium-sized enterprises when possible. This way they get visibility through our project and our webinars. By the end of this year, we want to have a toolbox containing a register of all solutions presented in our webinars to be an inspiration for others to see what others have done. And this will be open for all. So if you are interested, mark the project homepage and you can see it later then. Oh, I forgot. My favorite solution in this is actually an R&D project, a research project where they extract excess heat from an electrolyzer to kill a crayfish plague in order to reintroduce the crayfish to the local river. For those who don't know, in Sweden, crayfish is a local delicacy you eat in autumn, September. I like the culinary aspect of this solution. It's just mind-evolving that someone thought of this in the first place. So how do we work? We have meetings, online meetings regularly, and then regular face-to-face meetings. The last one we had on the ferry connecting Finland and Sweden, which I thought was very exciting. We also organize events, as you heard the webinar, but we also had matchmaking events to pair companies with different solutions. And we also participate in external events. Then we send an astonishing amount of email. We have a chat application, but for some reason we don't use it. Don't ask me why. And most importantly, we strive to work together to avoid that this is my part and that's yours and I'm not going to touch that. We create mixed groups to create a shared commitment to the task we are doing. This leads to, and now you should look from the right this way, to my first lessons learned. In order for collaboration to work and to get started, you should share extensively and generously your knowledge. This creates simple ingredients for collaboration, trust. At the same time, it's important to set rules and responsibilities early on in the project to avoid miscommunication and double work. That was the borders. Then we come to culture. When I was preparing this speech, I asked my colleagues, so how is it to work with Finns and with Swedes? And half of them said, yeah, it's okay. We are quite alike after all. And the other half said, oh, we are not as alike as we like to think. And I was confused by this answer because some of them have been working for 10 years in projects with partly the same partners across the border. And still they say this, why? And I'm starting to realize it's because both are true. And that leads to my final point, which is curiosity. In a cross-border collaboration project like Bothnia Green Energy, curiosity translates into an awareness that you are different, that you ask the extra question that, hey, how did you understand this? Are we on the same page? What do you think about that? And listening to the answer, what your counterparty has to say, because this gives a glimpse into how that person is thinking about life, about work, about the task you are about to do. And I will leave it at that. So for collaboration, stay curious. On the behalf of my fellow project colleagues who are not here, unfortunately today, and our financiers, I would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Sofia, for this presentation. Please stay a little bit on the stage for one or two questions, maybe. If there is anybody in the room that might be interested in finding out something more, something specifically from Sofia, based on the ideas she shared with us, you will have another 1 minute to think about it. I have one question. And you talked about the surprisingly different approach and understanding of how we are as Finnish compared with the partners in the team. Have you seen in this project or others like it a more significant difference between countries, people from different countries, or maybe from people from different backgrounds? Municipalities on one side, the utilities on the other side, or SMEs maybe. How is your perception?
Well, when I asked about my colleagues about this, how similar or different we are, someone actually said that they are more similar in this region, this Kvarken region, than between Umeå and Stockholm, like the capital region. So that they think they are more common in this region than in the same country, in the capital region. Then if I bring to the SMEs and academia, and in this Bothnia Green Energy, it's been seen that people think differently, and they have different interests because they come from a different viewpoint, and you should take this into account when you work together, that how you think isn't self-evident to the others. They might have a different background and look completely differently on the same topic.
Thank you.